And so, we were hunting and fishing, and we're just like surviving off the land, going up the thing. And then we started catching the anacondas basking on the sides of the river. And so we just started jumping on these snakes, grabbing them by the neck. The first one I did, I fucked up, though. The first anaconda I ever caught. The first anaconda I ever caught, I really fucked up because I was like, okay, I know how to catch snakes. I've handled big snakes. I know what I'm doing, They were going to come in from the bottom. I was going to come in from the top. I ran in and I grabbed the snake by the head, and she went whoosh and wrapped my hands, and my wrists are together. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, no.
I was like, now I can't get out of this if I wanted to. And the next coil came over my shoulders. And it's a 200-pound snake, so I'm on my knees.
Shit.
And so I went to scream, JJ, and I got nothing out. And so I'm sitting there wrapped in an anaconda with my clavicle like turning into a V. My shoulders were almost touching, and I could feel my ribs just about to go.
Oh, boy.
And 3 of my friends jumped on. They started untying it from the tail and everything like that, but I came that close.
Boy.
I really fucked up.
Oh, boy. Look at the size of that thing. Is that the one?
That is not the one. That is.
Oh, look at the size of that thing.
And that's not even as big as I get.
How big is that one?
That one is 18 feet 6 inches.
Big. That's so big.
This is the largest scientifically wild-caught verified anaconda that we have.
Wow.
In scientific literature. I mean, people have records of bigger ones. I've seen bigger ones. We named her Eleanor after my grandmother.
That's the 18-foot one.
This is the 18 feet 6 inches. She was 220 pounds, but she was hungry. She was...
Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
So if that one that got a hold of you, that's not this one. It's a different one.
No, the one that got a hold of me was 5 feet shorter than this one. This thing is a dragon. This thing is like the Kraken. There's no way.
No, how big do they get?
That's JJ, by the way. I keep talking about. Okay, so here's my measurement. And actually, somebody recently sent me a video of you and Forrest Galante.
Yeah. Talking
about this, about how big can an anaconda get. Me and JJ were out on this place called the Floating Forest one night, and I was thinking about getting on the cover of National Geographic. I was thinking about getting attention at that time.
Right.
And but we had gone deeper down the Amazon rabbit hole than anyone had ever gone. We found this place, the Floating Forest, where you're walking on rafts of floating grass, and you're walking past treetops. So there's a forest underneath the lake, but you're walking on the surface of it. And the anacondas love it.
Wow.
Because they can sit on these grassy islands, and if anything comes, the whole thing is like a giant tympanic membrane. As soon as something takes a step, they're like, threat, and they go down. And just like any big fish, just like any ancient giant crocodile, those shrewd old motherfuckers that have been there for a century, that's where they live. And so we were out there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're walking on these grassy rafts, and JJ's going, this is anaconda. And I went, that is not anaconda, because the grass was pushed down, but it was this big. And I was like, this can't be anaconda. He's going, this is. He goes, if it was a crocodile, he goes, you'd see the feet. And I was like, it just can't be. And then at middle of the night, the stars are shining in the black water and everything, and we're by the tops. We're in the canopy of a forest on top of a lake, and we see 2 anacondas. One of them is so big that I would say it was probably 24, 25 feet. Gigantic. That was an 18-footer. Then there was another a 16-footer on it. And my first response was, we have to catch this snake. And so I jumped on it. I just didn't think about it. I just jumped on the snake.
Oh, my God.
And so the snake, and, I always say Pixar, it didn't happen. But this was the middle of the night. I jumped on the snake. And as I'm holding it, the one measurement I have is that I was holding onto the snake and my fingers couldn't touch. That's how big this thing was. And so it dragged me to the edge of the grass.
What?
That big.
Oh my God. Big. Oh my God. Your fingers couldn't touch.
Yeah. So
my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so big.
It's so fucking big. And people said, "Oh, did it eat something?" And it's like, no, that was how big the snake was. And I know, because when she got to the edge of the grass, I dipped in head first. And this snake could have turned around and just eaten me. She didn't. Her head was bigger than a Rottweiler. It's bigger than Marshall's.
Oh my God.
But she dove into the water. Her idea is just escape, stay alive. So she goes down, and my face poked into the water, and I was like, fuck that. You look straight down into hell down there. And I was sitting there holding onto the grass with this giant anaconda rushing by me, 25 feet of anaconda slithering past me. And I put my hand on her, And as she went by, my hand eventually went, and then her tail slipped by me, and I was just alone in the dark in the Amazon. And I just seen this dragon. And then I turned around and went, what the fuck happened to JJ? And JJ's just standing there, and he turned completely white. And he was just, his circuits were blown. He was like, and I was like, you could have helped. I was like, you could have helped, man.
So can you just help me out here? Yeah. So the treetops, essentially there's water under the treetops. So you're walking on the treetops. Yeah. So how deep is the water below you?
Like 30, 40 feet.
So you're essentially walking on
grassy islands, floating vegetation.
Is it like in this video? Is
so
it the
yes,
same similar terrain?
So yes, and thank you for not playing the sound on this but yeah, it's basically exactly like this. See those islands over there?
Yeah.
There's floating grass, and so this is actually how we caught the big one. Everyone starts. JJ has unlocked everything. JJ's like, there's an anaconda. Nobody else saw it. And then I'm the only person that's willing to fuck with the head. And so they get the boats. This is literally how we caught the biggest anaconda that's ever been caught. So the camera guy, I was like, get the fuck out of here. And I just remember in this moment being like, do I really want to do this? Do I really do I really want to do what I signed up to do?
Do you see it in the grass?
I can see it here. And I'm just going, please. I wish. Can I turn back?
And so for the people just listening, you're standing on the edge of the boat. You jump off into the grass and you run. And
thankfully, I have a good
GoPro on.
Yep. And then you see, there's my team. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody jumping in. So we had all these people that have all handled big snakes before coming in. And see, I don't have the head. We didn't have the head. JJ had the tail. JJ got the tail. This guy Jonas had the tail. Mosin had the tail. Lee had the tail. Everybody's holding on to the snake. We're using the boat to keep ourselves up. And then I got the head.
Whoa.
And then as soon as I get the head, I know I'm going to get wrapped again.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is like, look at it. This is like.
And this is the 18-footer?
Yeah, this was the 18-footer. So
look at the size of this thing.
Yeah, so when people are like, why didn't you catch the 25-footer? I'm like, well, look at this.
The difference in just like, I'm seeing how big this is. It's unbelievably big. And the idea that something was almost 10 foot bigger than this.
Yeah.
And much thicker around.
Much thicker around. This girl was skinny.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in a second they'll show us walking with her.
That is so wild.
And you get a sense of really how big she is, but.
And you got to keep a hold of that. That bitch is going to swallow your head.
Yeah.
Look at it. What is that feeling like where you're holding on to the head of that thing?
Yeah, no, it's completely wild.